The following presentation is brought to you by kmmedia.pro. Please visit kmmedia.pro for more information. Now stay right where you are as we present Welcome to Positive Talk Radio, evolving ideas, one conversation at a time. Great guests, dynamic stories and interviews, plus new thoughts on a wide range of topics and concepts. I hope that you'll hang with me, Kevin McDonald, my friends, and of course, you. As together we work to understand why we are all here and what we can do to make our world a better place for all of us. To be happy, be kind, and live in peace together. Yep, that's Positive Talk Radio. We've got a terrific show for you today, but before we go there, I just want to remind everybody, it's Nathan, it's going to be what, 95 today?
Oh, it's going to be warm today. Probably not as warm as the last few days. We're starting to get into that cooling trend. It seems like with the weather, actually, I'm looking at it right now, it goes down by 1 degree each day. So we're 93 today, 92 tomorrow. Sunday we'll get down to 88.
Oh, gee, that's a good thing. Wow. 5 full degrees. Who really cares? But I just wanted to make sure everybody is aware, and I know the KKNW listeners are very smart and is very aware, but don't leave your dog, don't leave your cat or your animal in the car, and to leave it for any length of time, because the temperature in a car can go up from what it is today to like 120 in like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So don't do that. So, Nathan, we've got a great show for you today. And while we're waiting for Mr. Perlman to arrive, what I'd like to do right off the bat, can we play the song that we are going to be featuring today? And the two ladies that have done it, they are Sisters J, and they are a brand new act. We've got the songwriters here. We've got Mother Mary. I think she was Mother Mary before Paul McCartney wrote the song. Let it be. But we've got all of that, and they're just a couple of beautiful young ladies. They've got a great voice, and so why don't we play that? We're going to play it again at the end so that people can listen to it a couple of times. But it's a beautiful song, and Ted Perlman produced it, and we'll get into who he is in just a moment. And Mr. Thornton Klein, he wrote it, and along with, I believe, Mary, and the two girl and Elizabeth. And the two girls are going to sing it, and they're going to sing it right now. The song is called Open When.
Open when you need a new song. Open when you forget where you belong. Open when you want to feel closer to me. Mistake, we can't fool ourselves. Nothing we can do about the distance. The miles between us, a part of me is missing. A road you will let talk for every day we've been together. Open each one when you think of me and the love between us. Said love would be easy, sending you a part of me to make you smile, to feel my love constantly. When we're finally in each other's arms, we'll pick up where we both left off, as if time and space were never lost, and our loves always existed. Always with you. Open when you need a new song.
And that is Sisters J. And we've got them here. We've got Thornton here. We've got Mother Mary. And
Mother Mary comes to me speaking words.
exactly. And we've also got a gentleman by the name of Ted Perlman. And there we go. Is that better?
Better.
Yes. Ted Perlman. And by the way, Nathan, you are an audio guy and you are a production guy. So you ought to know who Ted Perlman is. Have you heard that name before?
No, sir. It's a first for me.
Well, then I'll take my sunglasses off so I can meet you. There I am. Okay, good.
And Ted Perlman is he's a record producer, songwriter, and arranger. He's produced, arranged, and recorded and toured with major artists such as, tell me if you've heard any of these people, Nathan. Whitney Houston, Harry Belafonte, Bob Dylan, Diana Ross, Burt Bacharach, Ronald Isley, Alexandria Ocasio, and the Manhattans, Blush, and my favorite, Ringo Starr, Joe Cocker, Chicago, and Young MC. So he is what you would call a legendary producer in the music industry.
Yes, sir. The list goes on and on, even behind that, and that is quite the resume, I must say.
Bunch of guitar playing and stuff, but the coolest thing is that I was friends with Don LaFontaine, which keeps us in the radio thing, is the guy who did all those voiceovers in a world, the biggest voiceover guy on the planet. So when it comes to radio and stuff, he did all those movie trailers. So I always like to have that name in there, especially doing radio interviews, because he was like the king and he taught me how to edit that stuff. So
I saw a 60 Minutes episode on him, and he would actually be in a limousine, and he would be going from studio to studio doing in a world. We were, in doing what he did. It was just really phenomenal. So thank you for being here. Thornton, thank you for being here. You're a songwriter of note. You've written 6 number ones in the last couple of years, and 8, 9? Yeah.
9, yeah.
and of course we have Sisters J here. Elizabeth, you sang lead on that song. That was beautiful.
No, they both sang. It goes back and forth.
Well, it was now. Lily did mostly the harmonies. Is that right? And Elizabeth did the main. Or did you guys go back and forth?
We went back and forth.
Yeah, we went back and forth with it.
Oh, very good. And you guys are sisters. You're 3 years apart, and you're just got out of college with and musical school with lots and lots of accolades, and you did really well. So, what are you looking forward to, Elizabeth? I'll start with you. What are you looking forward to in your music career? Because it's getting started, and I think it's going to be dynamic.
What part of my music career? Just all
well,
of it?
Okay, we'll start there. What do you do? Besides sing beautifully.
I do a lot of things. Right now I'm doing my student teaching for instrumental music education at one of the high schools in the area. And so I've been doing the professional development days, and school starts next week, and I'm very excited to work alongside the band director and learn a lot there. But then also I'm very excited for this song and like where we've gone with it, and to continue working with obviously my sister and Ted and Thornton, just to see where it goes.
Don't forget your mom.
Well, obviously my mom, she's included.
Mother Mary.
Mother Mary. Well, I gotta tell you, and we talked about it before, but it is vital if you're going to get some traction and get out there that you need to have a great team around you, and you have a great team. You have a great team. And Lily, what are you doing this summer for fun and engagement?
Well, I'm trying to get my book published.
Holy crap, you're a writer too?
Mm-hmm. I'm also working on my own comic book right now. And I'm a published illustrator and all that.
She's a 5-time published illustrator.
Holy criminy, you guys are talented. Mom, how did you come up with all that talent for these guys?
I don't know. I spoon fed it every day. Yes, it's all very much a blessing. Yeah, they're very, very incredibly talented, both of them. So, and then little brother's coming up behind them. He's kind of a
Dr. Edge.
drumming Dr. Edge. He's a drumming dynamo at age 9. So yeah, Ted gave him the name Dr. Edge. So
Oh, that's awesome.
The
So,
next Sisters J record is going to start out with Dr. Edge. It's going to be like a cartoon video. It'll be cool.
Ted, I have to ask you. You've been working with talented people pretty much your adult life. What drew you to these two and sucked you in so that you wanted to produce their record?
I've been doing this since I've been like younger than Lily. I started professionally when I was 17. So the one thing that's been constant through my whole career is that I can really spot talent. And, you know, there are people that are okay and you run into them and you keep going. And then every once in a while you run into somebody who's exceptional. And these two girls, can't call them girls anymore, women. These two women are exceptional women, and kudos to Mary for that. They're just super talented, and anything they put their mind to, they can just do. You know, they don't have any limits. They're like, if you look at other people who've come along, like Madonna, Lady Gaga, Beyonce, these people that just have no limits. There's just, you know, the world is their oyster, the old expression. And so these girls can write, they can sing, they can produce, and in multi facets of the media. They, you know, I see them in film, television, concerts, and just everything. Their talent is limitless, which is, you know, that's what I saw when I met them.
Elizabeth, that has to make you feel like good.
I'm trying not to tear up right now.
Well, you guys, and the song is so pretty, and you guys sing it so beautifully. And that was written by Thornton. You had a hand in writing that, right?
I did, along with Mary and AJ, which is Elizabeth Jackson.
Ah, very, very nice. Now? Tell us a little bit about the song. What is it about, Thornton?
Well, actually, I think AJ could tell you better because it's a true story. It is a true story based on true story about her, sort of her, I don't know if you want me to say like ex or some things that happened in the past, some past things. But you take it, Elizabeth, and you know.
It comes from a few different things. There's one line that says, "I wrote you a letter for every day we've been together," and I love to give handmade gifts, and this came from I was giving a birthday present to
someone.
my ex, someone in particular, and I had calculated how many days we had been together at that point, and the day that I gave it to him would have been 502 days, and so I wrote 502 individual notes, and so that's what I wanted to do. And I never really appreciated it, but you know, it's fine. And then Open Wind comes from letters that I've written, like for people going off to college, but then letters that people have written to me going off to college. Like some of my friends did that for me. Like open when you need a hug, open when you need a movie to watch, open when you're having guy trouble, open when blah, 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 blah. And so we kind of translated it into couples, or it doesn't even have to be a couple, people that you're long distance from, as a way of having them with you. And that kind of comes from my boyfriend and I, when we're not in school together, we are 3 hours apart, and so long distance can be difficult, but if you give each other notes like this, then you have a piece of them with you all the time.
And is that particular individual that you wrote the song about still in your life?
Yes, I mean, I have a promise ring, so he's still here.
Way cool. So, and so you wrote the lyrics primarily, or the idea behind the song. How did that come?
Well, I'm trying to. It's been a year since we sat down to write it. I remember writing the lyrics first and talking about the idea at Panera with my mother and Thornton, and we were talking about this concept of like kind of inspiration derived from my relationship, because during the summertime, my boyfriend and I don't get to see each other very much, and um, I am a hopeless romantic, and so that kind of just gave us ideas, and it took off from there.
Really, that's really a special story.
I thought it was a ex-boyfriend. I didn't know it was current boyfriend. So
It's kind of smushed.
that's why I did the L. That was for the
Yeah,
ex-boyfriend. You know?
yeah, it started from ex-boyfriend, but it's used now, and it really correlates to, a lot of Elizabeth's friends, Lily's friends, do these open win letters. They give boxes to their loved ones, friends, whoever, and so it's really kind of a universal theme for all of us to send an open win letter to whoever we're missing and apart from. We thought it was cute. We came up with open when you need a new song, and this is a new song. So it's creative and poetic. And, we tried to, I know for Thornton and I and Elizabeth and Lily, and I know Ted as well, we really do like to play with words and have those double meanings. And, you're not sure what does it mean exactly, but it has a deeper meaning behind it. I think it's very important. I remember driving in the van. I was going to pick up Lily and Carson, and we were trying to think of a title for the song, and all of a sudden I saw in my mind open win, and I was like, oh my gosh, we just need to name it. What does it mean? And that's what it means.
I'd like to add something too.
Please.
While the ex did not appreciate those 500 and some letter or notes, now she has somebody that really appreciates them.
Yeah, she has a great boyfriend. I mean, he's really an exceptional young man, and the two of them are a wonderful couple.
And he should be on Broadway.
He really should.
Yeah, he's great.
His singing voice is like, you just put Pavarotti, you move him over and then put Connor up there. His voice is just, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful.
So how did you guys end up being around and with such talented people? Is that, I mean, you've got an illustrator, you've got a songwriter, you've got a couple of great singers. Are all your friends that talented, Lily?
Yeah, on some of them, yes.
Some of them are, yeah.
Most of my
absolutely.
friends are artists.
Yeah. Musical theater actresses.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I have a lot of
theater friends. So really multi-talented kids that the girls know and are around. And then, Elizabeth is in college for vocal and instrumental. So she's surrounded by tremendous talented people. And it's really amazing. And Lily actually is going to go to school for animation and filmmaking because she wants to turn her books into movies. So we're just kind of, there's just it's a big stove with a lot of pots boiling, and they all kind of, it makes a great meal. There we go.
Yeah, I wish I had them as students when I taught at UCLA. That would have been cool. That would have been really, and Thornton teaches too. So there's a lot of teachers in our team, teachers and students. We're all perpetually students learning. There's always something else to learn.
Yeah.
Right, because we have to think about the next generation. So I do some coaching. I do some coaching in songwriting and instrumental things, because we want to keep this thing going, and we don't want to just keep it to ourselves, the hit writing and the hit performances. We want to think about the next generation, right? And the next
play it forward, yeah.
Well, what you guys do fascinates me, but Thornton, I'd like to know, what is it? Is it the music comes first? Is it the lyrics comes first? For you, how does it work?
Okay, well, it varies, but generally what makes me click is I come up with an idea. I keep what we call a hook book. I carry a hook book with me. It happens to be on my computer, my laptop, or my phone. But what I do is I always listening to people, what they say. I guess you could say I'm not a spy, but I'm an eavesdropper sometimes. I enjoy watching people. I like to watch people. I bet Ted, a lot of people like to watch people. You just sit there and watch people go by and stuff. I think there was even a song about that, watching people go by. But I like to observe, and I hear things that people say, and then it just catches me and triggers me. So I write them down. I write the titles down, and I think the ideas down. And then next thing you know, when I'm co-writing with somebody or something, I come up. Sometimes I'm prepared. I have a preparation with the titles and the ideas, and then I start with that. And next thing you know, the title itself kind of writes a song, because the lyrics come out based on the title, so it's a focal point. So then I write the title, and then I go and write the chorus. But it isn't always like that, every single songwriting situation. But the chorus comes usually first for me. The chorus, unless it's an AABA song, which is a verse first bridge song, which would be a different situation. But that's what I do, the chorus. And then I center everything around the chorus, like the lyrics for the verses and all that.
Oh, he froze.
Oh, he just froze. So
He did. So I'll tell you, Kevin, he called me yesterday.
Okay, how much did you
there
hear
he
that? Okay, again, when I focus on the chorus first, I focus on the chorus first and get a hooky melody and catchy title and everything from the title that I've chosen. And then what happens is generally the melody just starts coming to me, because I can feel what the words are. I feel what the words are saying, what they're the what they're crying out for, what kind of melody it's crying out for. Does that make any sense? Like,
well, kind of, sort of, for somebody who has no idea what you're talking about. No, I'm kidding. But
you can get inspired by the Bee Gees were riding across a bridge in Florida, and they heard the grating, which went and they wrote Jive Talking, which starts off with that rhythm. I heard a guy in the airport pushing a cart, and the wheel was busted. It was like boom, 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 because he kept making that. I was like, that's a song right there. So sometimes people hear songs in their head, rhythms, melodies, words. Like, inspiration can be all around. My wife and I play a game. Walking down the street, we take what we hear people say and we try to make it make sense. So you pass by somebody and they're like, oh, I have to go see my daughter, and that's it, And the next person says, oh, my foot hurts. So if you can make my foot hurts, I have to go see my daughter into something, there's a symphony of sounds and inspirations that surround all of us. It's just, who picks it out of the air and uses it for something.
I would second that too, about what Ted said. It's not all just formulaic, and I sit down and look at my computer and all that. Sometimes I'm out and about, I'm driving somewhere, and I hear something in my head. I wake up with a tune in my head, a melody or some ideas, or something just triggers it, like a situation, that happens in your life. Mm-hmm. And people keep telling me, I hear people say, they have these writer's blocks. They have writer's blocks. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, you might have a writer's block. It's possible, but look around you and see everything. Be attuned to every dimension there is. I mean, out here, taste, smell, sights, everything, just visual. And I don't think you can run out of ideas. In fact, I believe I have probably more ideas than I can ever write the songs. That's interesting, but
that's where the work comes in. Because it's one thing. I said, Bob Dylan told this to me, so this is not from a magazine. He said that when he started out, he just felt like he was passing the songs on. He said everything just came, and he was like inspired, and he didn't have to work at it. And then right around the time he did Slow Train Coming, he said the faucet stopped, and like the songs weren't there anymore. So he had to work at writing the songs, and he got scared. That's why he got back into religion. He was trying to find some way to get his mojo, like in Austin Powers, his mojo back. But that's where the work is. As a professional, it's easy to sit there and say, oh, great, we got a song, everybody's inspired, and you write sugar, sugar in 15 minutes. But then when you have to sit down and write something, it's not coming, that's where the work is. And that's what you have to put the work into it when it's not there. That's what makes somebody a professional songwriter and who's devoted to it, and somebody who's just an amateur.
Mary, you were going to add something to that.
Oh, I was just going to say, Thornton had called me yesterday to listen to a new song that he had just written with, can we say who you wrote it with?
Not yet, but it's an artist I wrote, a well-known artist.
Yeah, well, he just had a #1. So, but yeah, so the way that Thornton's mind works, he's one of the most creative people that I've ever met in my life. And definitely our meeting was a God meeting. And it's been so inspirational. We've known each other since 2015, and it's just not ever where it's not inspirational. And the thing that happens for Thornton and I, we talk, we have an idea, or we throw something back and forth. Like we've written, there's another song we've written with Elizabeth and Lily, and it started from an idea. It was like, hey, that's a song, or hey, that's a book. And that happens to us all the time. But what's really great is the constructive feedback when you can work with somebody that respects what your thoughts are, and you can say, oh, like I sent it to Ted yesterday, and Ted wrote back and said, okay, that line doesn't work. What about this? What about this? And if you can go back and forth and do that with somebody, and you don't take it personally, your feelings don't get hurt, but it's to make it better. So it's kind of where we're always coming from, is how can we make this better? Even when we're writing books together, how can we make this like the best story we can put out there for others? But Thornton is never without creativity. He's never without an idea. He's never without, during the pandemic, we sat there on the phone, and we're looking for a publisher right now for this book. We sat there on the phone, and in an hour, we came up with 21 chapters for this book called The Follow-Up. And he took 10 chapters and I took 10 chapters to write. And then we put it all together. And that happened during the pandemic. And, it was in an hour conversation. So I think when you are connected with those like-minded creators, things really do flow, and everybody adds to it. Hey, what about this? What about that? And, and somebody may say, oh, well, I don't know. Well, let's try it this way. It's like putting a puzzle together.
Do you guys realize that most of us have no idea what you can do? That we have no earthly idea. It's like when you say you wake up with a song, there's another guy who that happened to back in the 60s, and that song has been recorded by more artists than any other song in history, and that would be Yesterday, and Paul McCartney wrote it in his sleep, or he just had the melody when he woke up, and it was, I think, Eggs and Ham.
Scrambled eggs.
Right. It was recorded 2,300 times so far. It's been recorded over 2,300 times.
I believe in scrambled eggs. Yeah. So you do when you're writing. Sometimes you just put things in as fillers if you don't know what the word's going to be, or the music. You just put. It's the main thing is to get from beginning to end. There's so many billions of unfinished songs out there, and that's the one thing you don't want to have. You want to work on it, get it to the end, and then you can adjust it. But you need to complete something. A lot of people just start it, they give up on it, and they, whether it's a song, a career. The thing is, it says in the Bible, he that endureth will be saved. And with music, with anything you do, what you do, radio, technology, media, art, dance, writing, the thing is to complete it, not to leave it unfinished.
That's what I call authentic grit. Is that
right.
You don't give up. You can even when you have less than a successful moment, you never give up. You keep following your passion. You keep following your dream. Lily, let's fast forward 40 years, and then let's look back at where you've been. Where do you want to be when you're 50 or 60? Or where do you want to have done in your life? Do you have any idea? That's really an unfair question to ask, but because when I was 20, I was a dishwasher at Denny's, so I had no idea. But but what would you like to be?
When she's 40, a couple of us are going to be like the oldest living people on the planet. Our producer is only 120 years old, but he's still got that special thing.
Still got talent. He's still there.
That je ne sais quoi, no matter how old.
Ted's going to be like, all right, Lily, let's do it, baby. Come on. I can still play the guitar.
I'm like, I got you.
The thing that's scary about that, before she answers, is that since like 90, the way music is recorded and things are done, media technology has grown in just those 30 years. We're talking about like a huge leap, that wasn't there. It took a couple hundred years before that. So if you're saying when she's another 20 years for her, I can only imagine how media is going to be and how things are going to be recorded.
And how recordings.
You'll just think of it and you'll be able to transfer it out of your mind, but into a computer. It'll be like ESP or something like that,
That would be amazing. Wouldn't it remarkable? You could make your output even more songwriting or something.
Yeah.
Story idea.
Yeah, story idea. Yeah.
So I would like to be a movie director. I would like or producer, and I also want to act in my own movies. Not only act, but animate them myself. self. But yeah, I want to share God's message through them, even though they're like fiction and stuff like that.
That's really cool. Elizabeth, you know, I can't even remember when I was in your age or as talent. You guys are way talented. Where are you going to be? What do you want to do with your life?
You know, everybody keeps asking me that question. um, I want to be successful with however many routes I take. I want to share my music or our music, all of it together with the world under a positive light for people to be able to come together. Um, I want to be able to teach and pass my knowledge down, but then also just kind of like share with the younger generations, like, hey, this is music. This is what I've learned. Take it, you know, do with it what you will, and just make music with a bunch of people. And I just want to be successful with whatever I do.
Are you guys planning on touring with this song and with others?
If that happens,
If we
yep.
can, I
Yep.
mean,
And I want to say this, Kevin. So, Elizabeth is really, both of the girls have an incredible ear for harmonies and timing and writing. And so, you know, I know that Elizabeth she's really good at being able to produce and put all this stuff together. So Elizabeth, if you want to tell the story, you can. I just think it's so cool. Last year, what happened on TikTok with you, and
Oh,
do
yeah.
you want to tell Kevin and the audience what happened?
I was hitting a little bit of writer's block, and I wanted to write because I was trying to pull myself out of the kind of depression that the pandemic had put me in, because it had kind of really, really changed the way that we did school, let alone the way that you're doing music school, because, you know, everything changed. And I really was searching for just making music, and I was struggling to write it myself. And so I went on TikTok because it's an artistic outlet for me. And I posted a video that said, hey, comment something about yourself and I'll write a song about you, just like a little song. And it blew up more than I thought it was going to. And so a lot of people were like, hey, my name is blah, blah, blah. I'm this age. I like this. I'm like this, blah, 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 blah. And some of it was just really surface level stuff, but then some of it was a lot deeper than that, and it inspired me. And I actually, this may sound cliche, but I was kind of inspired by one of Taylor Swift's new albums where she was writing stories about other people instead of writing stories about herself. And so that's why I was like, oh, you know, maybe I can find inspiration from other people's stories rather than just my own experience. And that's where I haven't finished the songs, but I've written 7 or 8 of them.
And they are amazing. She had 15,000 people in like 2 days respond to that message on TikTok.
Like, congratulations. That's really cool. You're able to do that. And by the way, Mom, you must be really proud. These kids, you know, for being not at all.
I'm so disappointed in both of them.
It's funny. I put it up, and I just got a comment on it from a lady named Wanda D, who's a dear friend, and she's the group the KLF, and she just came back from Europe. They played to like 50,000 people, concerts all over Europe, and they're going back out again. And she just gave a congratulations to you guys, and she's just really positive. She's just amazing. She was the first female DJ. She goes back to Africa Bombata, and she was in a movie called Beat Street. And she's just incredible. She's DJ, and then she's a singer. She's a dancer. She's a performer. She can sing in 6 languages, and she's like these girls, you know, that have a career like that. She's been doing it for years. She has a house in California on the beach. She owns hotels. Her and her husband are just incredibly talented, and they just go out and play for all these, you know, millions of people. And that record, 3 a.m. Eternal, was one of the biggest dance records ever, and the top 50 dance records of all time. So she just gave you all a nice shout out.
Wow.
She's an amazing artist. So That's the kind of career I see you guys having, like Streisand, and just incredible. You can have a career like you may not even know who this was, but this singer named Harry Belafonte, and Harry was about 20 when he started, and he started out singing these calypso songs, Deo and all that stuff. But he used that to get to where he could make an impact in the world. His whole goal was to make an impact. And he was with Martin Luther King, and he was friends with Martin. He marched with Martin. He helped get Nelson Mandela out of prison. So he used the music to get into film, and he broke color barriers as a black man. I mean, they wouldn't even let him get dressed inside Caesar's Palace in Vegas when he played there. He was getting dressed in the parking lot. So all those barriers that he broke, he used music to get to that. And that's what these girls, I see them having careers like that. Harry started We Are the World. So from Deo, simple little pop song, he moved him to where he was, changing the world. And that's where I see Lily and Elizabeth having careers like that, change the world.
Mr. Perlman, when are you writing your book?
I got to write soon because there's a lot of people leaving the planet. It was just, I was reading a story about the space telescopes, and they mentioned the Keck telescope, which is in Hawaii. And so that was a lady that I worked with and wrote songs with. And Elizabeth Keck is just like one of the billionaires of the world. So, she would be in any book that I write. Thornton would be in any book that I write. The girl, like the book's still being.
I'm honored. Thank you.
The book's still being written. I've just been blessed to interact. I'm like the president of Fuller Seminary, where I met my wife, said I'm the Forrest Gump of music. Because, remember in Forrest Gump, he interacted with like everybody somehow or another. He ran into everybody, and that's pretty much been my life, which is wonderful. And so I'm blessed. A book, right now I'm too busy to sit down and write the book, but that I'll have Thornton write the book for me.
I was going to say, Thornton and I can ghostwrite it for you.
Ghostwrite,
we could ghostwrite it. Actually, to be honest with you, I'm sure you know this, Kevin. Everybody probably knows this. Is a lot of them. Celebs, not everybody. I don't want to generalize. Stereotype, but a lot of celebs are so busy, just like Ted said. Theo said, very busy doing all the things. They do have ghostwriters and people to help them write the books. No matter how talented they are as writers too. They just don't have the time to it. So a lot of books that you see out there that are celebrity written are have a lot of the thoughts and ideas from the celebrities, but they actually didn't write everything word for word, verbatim. So.
Yeah, a lot of them use ghostwriters. By the way, life is like a box of chocolates. You just don't know what you're going to get.
That's right.
That's true.
So
we have a Forrest Gump in our town, actually. That's what we call it. We do. And the interesting thing about it is the guy's been running in this town, Thornton. I don't know if you've ever seen him. For 20 years we've been here, this guy's been running, right? And he's all in black. And his beard gets longer and longer as the years go on. And he always has a sign on him in the front and the back, and it's all about peace and Jesus. And he's got all kinds of scripture written all over him. So we call him the Forrest Gump of the town we live in, the city we live in.
Do they have you have call-ins, don't you, on your show?
We do. Would you like it? Shall we, Nathan? Let's see if somebody would like to call and talk to these folks.
Sure. Our phone number to give us a call is 425-373-5527. That's locally in Seattle, or toll free at 888-298-5569.
I have to tell you, I was being a little selfish because
I just want to ask him something. Why don't you have a Ken Griffey shirt instead of a Minnesota Twins shirt on?
Well, for those of you on the radio, I'll tell you after, but I'm just going to do a quick turnaround here. And Joe Nathan was the pitcher, so naturally it has my name on the back of it.
Okay.
And I just had to get that shirt because of it.
Okay.
And then another quick story while it's there. One time the Mariners had a Brad Miller, so Miller is on the back of the jersey, and sometimes I go to games against the Twins, so I wear the Twins shirt underneath and then wear my Mariners jersey just a little bit lower, so on the back people read Nathan Miller.
Yeah. So you couldn't do that in New York. If you go to a Mets game with a Yankees shirt on, you will get physically assaulted. Same thing if you go to Yankees game with a Mets shirt on. New York fans are like soccer fans. So I was just wondering how since you're in Seattle, you're wearing a Twins shirt. So I was just curious because I went to a Dodgers game with a Yankees hat and people were like, get out of here, you bum, go away, go back to New York.
Yep.
And by the way, we are going to play the song again. We're going to play Open Wind before the show ends, but I wanted to make sure that we got out where they can pick up the song, where they can. And please, ladies and gentlemen, do not download music. Please purchase it and then download it, because the artists, the music industry, as these folks will tell you, is changing, and it makes it very difficult. So please go. Where can they actually buy this song from?
Anywhere it's streamed, and please go buy it. The girls need to pay for college, so yes, they're educated.
iTunes,
Yes,
Spotify,
Spotify, iTunes,
iTunes,
wherever it's streamed.
Apple Music, right?
Yeah, well, there's going to be a Sisters J Bitcoin, so it's coming. There's an NFT, a Sisters J NFT coming on. You can get a personalized copy of Open Wind where they talk to you. I know that's the future. I know that's where things are going to be. So the way media is, like you say, don't download. But the thing about NFTs that are good is that you buy it. If you sell it, then the person who wrote it gets paid. It's not like, you can download something and keep passing it on. Even if you bought it, you make a copy. But with an NFT, you can't make a copy without the publisher, the writer, the artist getting paid. So that people look at those things as new. They don't know what it is, but they're positive things that can be really good for the artist, especially in an arena where, on Spotify, Apple Music, the writers get like 2 cents. So NFTs are really, it's a good way for the artists to get, finally start making money back on their creation.
Because some of you, well, all of you guys are beyond talented, and you deserve to get paid for it. And
Yes.
and right now, unless you're touring, it's hard to make ends meet. But I'm hopeful that. But by the way, ladies, I've got to ask you, when are you going back in the studio with another song?
Very soon.
Yes. They also have a video coming out. Isn't a video coming out?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
The video should be ready next week. That's what we're hoping for. Yeah, we were finishing it Monday.
It can go on YouTube.
Yeah.
And this
Okay.
is Sisters J. So you can go and look at their music, and please, like I said, don't stream it, download it. Do the right thing by them. And it's not expensive. It's like $1.25 for a song or something like that.
I know. Yeah, it's gotten really cheap.
Support the artists,
Yeah.
and with via merchandising. When they go on tour, go to the shows, buy the merchandising. That's the way that the artists can make their living nowadays.
Right.
Yeah.
Very important. And to support your radio station, to support your radio show, who gives a platform for up-and-coming artists. That's really important. So thank you to you for that.
Yeah. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
By the way, just so you know, I dumped my commercial break for you guys, so that because I wanted to play this straight through, so that because I got to tell you, I want to support your work and what you're doing in any way that I can. And by the way, Mary, I wanted to ask you, you also have a podcast, yes? You have a couple of them.
I do. I have a couple of live streams. So one is called Writers Corner Network. It's over on Facebook, but we're on Twitter and YouTube and LinkedIn and Amazon Live. And it is a writer show. It's an author show. So we have interviewed, New York Times bestsellers, international bestsellers, multi-award winners. The Jennifer Lieberman we had on Tuesday has won 5 awards this last year for her book called the Year of the What? That's the name of her book, and it's based on a true story and her life. But yes, Thornton's been on several times. And then I do a show for special needs and disabilities, because I am a special needs and disabilities advocate. But as a mother, I will say all children need a creative outlet. And it's a way for expression, whether a child is nonverbal or verbal. Even verbal children have a hard time expressing themselves. As adults, we have a hard time expressing ourselves, don't we? So find them an outlet, something that's healthy, something that makes their soul, their spirit sing, makes them thrive. They may never do anything professionally with it in life, but at least they've got that avenue. So it's a healthy outlet that will not harm them or anyone else. They can work through and process through how they're feeling, and they'd be able to go from maybe a really bad place to a more positive place. So they can have better self-regulation of their emotions. But, give them an outlet. I mean, I don't care what it is, building Legos, digging in the dirt, painting the walls, something. But yeah, I used a lot of creative outlets for my children, and it was very obviously instrumental in their lives, because look where they are now. It's, gone beyond what I ever dreamed of for them.
And it's just at the very beginning.
Yes, it's the precipice. Absolutely.
It is only the beginning.
I just don't even think
Yeah. And this is for you, Kevin.
Just because if people they can't see us, I did a pre-interview with them and we recorded it, and my producer looked at it after, because you did that. Just say it, do it like you did it on the video that we did.
I want you to do the live version of you doing it.
The live version of you doing it.
I'm not Catherine O'Hara. Are you gonna?
No. Okay. I'll just fill it in. He said. Kevin!
Sorry.
That's it. And it took a while for my producer to get the fact that was from Home Alone, but then she fell over laughing. So that was.
Yeah, but Ted, you have to do your version. Do your version.
And then I saw the new Despicable Me movie.
I love it.
The prequel, and it was hilarious, And so Bob and Kevin and Stuart. I mean, it was really, really great. It's called what is it called? Beginning of Gru or something.
The Rise of Gru.
The Rise of Gru, yeah.
So
I grew from a kid, and it was just awesome with the little minions and stuff. So
don't you love the soundtrack? It's all 70s. I want the soundtrack, so I'll be buying the soundtrack.
Yeah, I know half the people who played on those things, and there was a couple of Earth, Wind, and Fire songs. I know Verdine White from Earth, Wind, and Fire, and he did a couple of the songs, so they did them over. Some of them they used the originals, and there was some other ones, but it was really clever. I forget how you say her name. Tamara, she did one of the duets and stuff. It was great. It was great. I love all the Despicable Me movies, and then the Sing 2, which is the same people from Illumination, and that language that they're using. It's kind of like this Italian, Spanish, or French thing that they have.
It's like they took helium.
That's your newest song, Ted.
Yeah.
Ted, that's your new song.
Illumination, when they do the opening credits are it's just brilliant. It's just brilliant,
I know. I think listening to them talk in that movie made me laugh almost more than anything else. It was so funny.
I mean, just all of them. Dr. What's his name? When they find him in the store, Dr.
Nefario.
Dr. Nefario, before he became Dr. Nefario. I mean, it's just such a great. For some reason or another, they turn a guy who's a criminal into somebody that you love and has such a big heart. And the theme that's in there when he takes the orphans in, and he's not mean at heart. He's like, that's his career. I steal the moon. I do this. I do that. I do all these things like that. And they give him, Steve Carell is great, but the underlying theme is love and family, and just even with his crazy mother. So, I see themes of love in everything. I mean, I see.
What's funny, Ted? Yeah. Carson said, as soon as that movie was over, I want to be a supervillain.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You got his name already, Dr. Edge.
Dr. Edge, yeah, supervillain. I mean, if people can find positivity in anything, I mean, it's just how you interpret things. Like I said, there's a song by AC/DC, and it's called Highway to, it starts with H, rhymes with Bell. I just sing it, the Highway to Heaven. Every time I hear the song, I like it. So we're on the highway to heaven. And I just, change anything that's not positive. I can turn it into something positive. And that's the way we deal with life every day. You know, if something happens to you, you turn it around, you keep going, keep a positive attitude. And that's what's amazing about our team, is that they have that same positive glow that comes from inner faith and belief. And so no matter what happens, any setbacks, it's just keep going forward. There's no reverse.
And our song, Open Wind. Open Wind.
Yeah. This team does no reverse.
Nathan, can you cue the song again and let me know? And we'll play it going out because I want to give them just a moment to be able to. But give me a time as to when we got to start the song so that we can play it and be complete before the show ends. If that makes sense to you. So what I'd like to do at this moment is start with the girls. I want to give you a moment to say anything that you would like to our audience that are listening now and that are listening in the future. Anything that you feel like letting them know. Elizabeth, we'll start with you.
Oh, well, thank you for listening, and we hope that our music brings you joy, and yeah, I just want to spread love and happiness and positivity.
You're my kind of gal. And Lily?
Never give up on your dreams and never lose hope, because hope is eternal and it'll always be there for you. So continue to shine that light.
I'd like to thank the five of you for being here. And next time, Mr. Perlman, next time what we got to do is we'll have a debate. Who was better, Barbara Streisand or Whitney Houston? But we're not going to do that today. But that would be an interesting conversation.
There's no better, like with singers, artists, there's no better. Once you get to a level of being professional, you're just different, you know?
Exactly. And so we're gonna play the song Open Wind. This is Sisters J. I want to thank you all for being here again. And remember, be kind to each other, because each other's always...
Seattle, thank you for listening, Seattle, and thank you, Kevin. We appreciate it.
Kevin, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. And this is Open Wind.
Open when you need a new song. Open when you forget where you belong. Open when you wanna feel closer to me. Make no mistake, we can't fool ourselves. Nothing we can do about the distance. The miles between us, a part of me is missing. A road you will I talk for every day we've been together. Open each one when you think of me. And the love between us. Open when you need a new song. Open when you forget. To me, words you might need written from my heart, sealed with my kiss while we're apart. Open never said love would be easy. I'm sending you a part of me. To make you smile, to feel my love constantly. When we're finally in each other's arms, we'll pick up where we both left off. As if time and space were never lost, and our loves always existed. Always with you. Open when you need a new song. Open when you forget where you belong. Open when you wanna feel closer to me. Words you might need written from my heart, sealed with my kiss while we're apart. Open when, open when. I'm sending you a part of me.
Hey, thanks for enjoying this episode all the way to the end. Please give us a like and subscribe to this channel. This has been a production of PositiveTalkRadio.net. Please visit our website, oddly named PositiveTalkRadio.net, for more details about us and our mission, which is to provide great positive programming designed to inspire us all. I'm Kevin McDonald, and I'm proud of these shows, and I truly hope that you'll like them and share them with friends and family. So on behalf of our entire team, remember, be kind to one another because each other's all we got.